All right, everybody, welcome into the Rewatch Reaction Show. Paul Daner Jr. and Jay Morrison here with you. Jay pinch hitting for Charlie, who's going to be watching pinch hitters and pitching changes and everything as the Reds are in the playoffs in LA tonight. But that doesn't stop us from doing the Lord's work. There were a lot of people, Jay, that were concerned on my flight home from Denver today. Were concerned when I had told them that I had watched the first half and I was getting ready to dig into the second half. People I think were praying for me. There was a lot of people. You could see the concern on their faces at that point. But we're here to do it because we want to break down a lot of the of what you need to know. So you don't have to. Yeah. We don't want you to have to go back in. So we're here to do it for you.
I mean, people were probably saying you couldn't pay me to watch that. And well, that's why we're doing it.
It's why we're doing it, because you can pay us to watch it. Yeah, but we did. And I will say the same thing that we always say is, where do we start? Right? Yeah. I think we have to start with Jake Browning. I think this is where the conversation is as this offense struggles, as Jake struggles, and there just seems to be no traction happening in the passing game. How much of it's on Jake? How much of it's on scheme? How much of it is guys not getting open? How much it is protection? I think there's a lot to be learned there. And Jay, I thought a good place to start, I know you started the same way. Let's look at these third downs.
Right.
And where Jake needed to make a play or they were counting on him. And the interesting thing about it, I thought coming away from this, is there's so many third and manageables, the things that they've been trying to get into, they were able to get there quite a bit, but they just obviously, like with everything in this game, weren't successful enough.
Their first 5 third downs, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. You would sign up for that. And there wasn't a lot of success on those.
There sure wasn't. Let's dive into a couple of plays here and start off with a first one here. We're going to take a look at this one. So this is one that has kind of gone around. I'll pause this because it ends up being a quadruple team on the defensive tackle while both edge rushers go around the outside. I just, there's not a whole lot to say here other than that's not good, right? I mean, this is not on Jake Browning. This is not, I mean, you can't expect him to be able to do anything with. I do have a favorite part of this play, Jay, as I play it out here. Orlando, what happened? What is that? They had to have been offsides there, right? Part of this, though, is the play clock was winding down, and these edge rushers are able to tee off on the time going down, and they know that snap is coming out or it's a delay, so they're ready to go. They know what that is, and Amarius and Orlando are both caught. That's a problem of not being ready to go in time, letting the play clock run down, and then obviously an inability to get out there on the outside, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, and part of that is on Jake. Because I watched this play and then I went back and I looked at the TV copy so I could see the play clock. He changed the play, called the audible, doing this at the line with 7 seconds to go on the play clock. Then you are really rushing and you're snapping it with 1 second to go, and those edge rushers they're peeking at the play clock. It makes it so much easier for them there. I should have looked. I can't remember if they had a timeout left at that point, but they really could have used it there and got themselves in a better position. I mean, it's 3rd and 3. This is right after you get that huge break, the huge Demetrius Knight pick in the end zone. You've got a chance to go down and get points, key 3rd down, and it ends in that.
Yeah. Talk about key 3rd downs. Let's go down to the red zone here. When you take a look at this one here, you look at this red zone. This is the red zone play that ends up being a fade ball to T. Higgins on the first drive. And Zach Taylor ends up kicking the field goal when they don't complete this. But I'll play this out here. He throws it up here, and it's just nowhere near T. Higgins if you're gonna make that decision. There's a couple of things here. Chase Brown is what I see here. I feel like we do a lot of this. If Burrow were in here,
Yep.
what would it look like? Burrow, I think I don't know. Burrow's a big give my guy a chance. I can Burrow probably throws back shoulder to T because the guy is on top of him, or he says it's not there, turns his head, and he has Chase Brown one-on-one out of the backfield in this little option route coming out here. If Chase Brown comes right out, right there. I mean, if Browning just flips his head around, he has a protection. He has the lane to throw into,
Mhm.
and he has Chase Brown running wide open for what would be a touchdown. I mean, that is. Let's run that back here. When we come back here to the Chase Brown action here, right when he decides, okay, he's just locked into it. That's where it's going. Not even thinking about
Yeah.
anything else. Doesn't matter if it's open. That's where I'm going. Give it a tick and realize he's right on top of him, and you have Chase Brown right there. Instead, you throw it and the ball ends up way out there. It's a bad throw on top of it all. You're not helping yourself with the bad throw, but it's just, this is what I'm doing. I'm throwing the T jump ball, right? Maybe the first one that got caught was the worst thing that could have happened because he kept going back to it and was just locked into it. And I know you love T Higgins jump balls, right? Like that's a part of who he is. And you'll take those, but you can't just that can't just be so locked in where you're just stuck on it.
Yeah, and the Burrow thing is very true. If this was a first or second down, I think you live with this play and say you're going to T. If it's not there, you kinda throw it away. It could have been there, like you said, if it was a back shoulder. But that's where Burrow and the experience, so many of his sacks that he takes are on third down in the red zone. You've got time to pull that down and wait and see. And he knows what every route's gonna be, where the guy's gonna be. I mean, you would assume Jake knows that too, but Burrow pulls that down, probably doesn't make that throw, and then buys the extra beat and finds Chase over the middle. It looked kinda like the Tennessee touchdown last year, that same kind of route, although that was a much more of a scramble thing, but the initial route. The other thing is, you know, Jake's been around since 2019, but he hasn't played a lot. Yeah, he got the games in 2023. He's gotten all those reps in camp, but Zach pointed this out. You're not facing a full rush coming off of the Minnesota defense. You hear it all the time where they talk about the clock gets sped up in your head. And I think that's definitely in his mind where take that first read and go with it and don't hold the ball because it's not going to end well. But on a third down in the red zone, it's okay if it doesn't end well. Hold it a little longer. Wait to see if you got a better option. They got it. Nothing would have changed. Maybe Evans' field goal would have been a little bit longer, but I think that is an important designation there or distinction where Joe Burrow definitely does that different.
Yeah, you saw that a bunch. I think you could
Mhm.
feel Jake being like, "Get the ball out."
Yeah.
Don't hold it, get it out quickly. That happened time and again. And there's one play that you sent to me, Jay, in that regard, and this was, a wrap in by Gesicki. I mean, this is a staple Bengal play here. I'll pull this up right now. This here is a staple play at the bottom of your screen where you're gonna run Gesicki in, behind Jamar Chase down towards the bottom of the screen, and look how open the middle of the field is. Look how open Mike Gesicki is on this play. That is a easy snap throw into a huge middle of the field gap against cover 2, and but you can feel Jake Browning being like, "Gotta get rid of it. Get
And
rid
for
of
good
it right
reason.
now."
Look
Yes,
what
and
happens, right?
yes, he has somebody right in his face. It's partially a product of exactly what you're talking about, right? I mean, it's
Right.
it's it's the fear over getting hit, the offensive line, they can't hold the protection, you can't get to that play. That said, this is one where you've got to be able to see that they're standing pat and Gesicki is running free into a massive open middle of the field when you scan over to the right, and he's just not seeing it. Whether it's him in his head saying got to get rid of it or just not seeing it properly, whatever's happening there, um, you're missing chunk plays, you're missing explosives, and I don't know if he needs to be freer. You can almost see Gesicki's hands go up like, "Oh, that should have been to me," but it wasn't. That's kind of I think exactly the point of what we're talking about. You see that in a bunch of different
Yeah.
spots, um, in this game. Jay, here's another one that you sent out where you were talking about this was a play that actually goes to Mitchell Tinsley. Tinsley comes up here and there's Jamar Chase running up behind him on a ball
Touchdown.
that if you a touchdown, if you're being aggressive, if you're thinking aggressively, you watch Jamar go clear this space and you can throw that to the left, up to the left where he's running to and let him go run under it. You know, I just that's the same type of thing where gotta get it out, not gonna be looking for that, and I think you're losing a lot of explosives that way, but that's because you can't play any other way because your protection is just not holding up.
Yeah, and that one there with Jamar, I mean, that's less than 4 minutes into the game, and Jake talked about chasing completions, and that was the game plan going in, and you kinda see how that plays out, and the Gesicki one too. If Jamar's your first read and he's open, then you understand why he did that, and with Burrow, I think he doesn't just see it different in the moment. I think he tends to see it before it happens. He sees the defense, he knows exactly what's gonna happen, and maybe he does hold on and go to that longer one. But there there were there was another instance that was the confusing part about all of this is like, okay, that's the plan. They're just gonna take the first read, the quick thing there, and then a little bit later, I think it was midway through the second quarter, it was the same thing where he's got Jamar wide open, a short, sure pass, and Patrick Surtain's playing 6 yards off of him. And if Jamar catches that and turns and makes Surtain miss, he probably takes it to the house. And instead, they change the plan, or Jake changes the plan and throws a fade to T that is not even like kind of like the one in the end zone. It's not a good ball. It's too far out wide. T can only get one hand out. It's an incompletion. And it's just that's what's so head scratching is like if that is the plan, just to take the first read, the sure short pass, then what changed? And maybe pressure starts to mount, and the Broncos get a couple early scores. Things aren't going well for the offense. It's punt, punt, punt. Maybe there is a little bit of panic, and you try to get a chunk play there, but that still felt a little too early to change the plan and go off script.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was just really a reluctance to go to the second read
Mhm.
and because it's just get the ball out and that being in the because there's a number of different plays where you see somebody open, even right in front of them. I can think of they did a under center play action with a reverse boot. They booted out the opposite, did not out to the right. And Jamar was wide open right in front of Jake, and he instead threw a deep ball to Tinsley that was inaccurate and didn't go where it needed to go. And, you know, a play where you get guys running open and it's just you're not converting on those. You're not seeing it, or you're locked in and not seeing the field where Jamar Chase is wide open right in front of you. Like, you have to be able to see that stuff. And that's frustrating for everybody. It's hard. They're having a hard enough time when they do scheme something up that works stuff open and you have multiple different options, you're not able to take advantage of it. That's some of the stuff that you just were seeing. I think it goes back to him maybe being in his own head a little bit. It just felt like he wasn't playing free,
No.
and I think that's part. I don't know if that's of them. He's hearing his coaches in his head. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I do have one that is not on Jake Browning, and that would be this one here. I just called this Blitzkrieg here. This is where everybody comes in because guess what it is? It's another third and manageable, third and short, third and two. Guess what? There isn't any threat of any run. Nobody in the backfield. 5 out, empty. I mean, you got to have some threat on third and two. There's not. You're just completely spread, and these guys are exposed. You're everybody's lined up, and he has nowhere to go. Like they're on him instantly. It's 2-on-1 on the outside. There's too many to block. They can't get to it, and there's nothing there. There's no throw here for him immediately. It ends up just kind of being unleashed, right? That's getting knocked down. I mean, talk about plays that have no chance.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have you have no threat of run. There's too many for you to get to. You can see it really good from this angle that there's no hope here. I mean, two guys, it's just everyone coming through. Tell me what you want to do there. It's bad playing. There's nothing open. That's the type of thing where, and we'll talk about this in a second, Denver has all kinds of numbers coming at them with a free hitter, and they end up leaking a running back out into the flat all alone. There's no option like that here. Like
No.
there's no option. There's nowhere to go. And that's a problem. That gets back to play calls, and it's obviously not a thing where all of this is on Jake.
Yeah, that was gonna be my point there. You name me any quarterback, no quarterback in the league is making a play out of that scenario right there. Maybe Lamar. Maybe Lamar ducks the rush and scoots up the middle and gets a couple yards with his athleticism. But that just you said it, that play never stood a chance. And we see them tweak things a little bit with Jake, and that might be one of the things that needs to happen is I know it's a big part of their scheme, but the empty stuff, he needs some help. You need someone in there to either pick up one of those blitzers or, like you said, to leak out and give an outlet, a much easier throw. And you feel pretty good about Chase or P. Ryan catching the ball even in the backfield and getting 2 yards to turn that into a first down.
No doubt. All right. I do want to remind everybody that our next live show at BetMGM in Tom's Watch Bar is going to be this Sunday at noon. We will be giving away tickets to Bengals Steelers. We will have an exclusive parlay boost. I'm doing the Jamar bounce back this week. The last time I did a bounce back boost, that person got hurt and is out for 3 months. I'm not trying to put that
So
on
you hate Jamar.
No, I legitimately, I'm trying to help people win. I
Yeah.
legitimately think that we'll see overs coming from Jamar this week. So you can only get that exclusive boost if you come down to our live show between 12 and 1 on Sunday before the Lions game. Hope to see you down there. We'll also be giving away those Bengals Steelers tickets. All right, let's flip forward. All right, it's time to go to the coach's office, presented by our good friends at R&A Marketing. Now, there's no coach today. This is a circumstance of the season. Monday Night Football, traveling back from Mountain Time. It's a day that is normally a day where it's able for us to get access to a coach, to have a coach come on. Short week, crunch time. There's just a lot of things aren't happening. We're still here for you. We're still here for you. And we've got some stuff that we want to break down. We want to talk a little bit about the defensive red zone failures and what's happening down in there. Before that, I want to tell you more about our good friends at R&A Marketing, who they don't just come on here and say, hey, check out R&A Marketing. No, they do our website. They built it. They built it from scratch. They've taken over our brand that way. And it's great. Go to thegrowlerpodcast.com. You can see it there, or go to ramarketing.com and check them out. You've heard me talk about it for a while. They're more than a sponsor for us. They're somebody that's really building our brand as we speak. You choose if you want. It's not just websites. If you want a strategic partner, they're there for you. They kind of built their reputation in the furniture business, but they're way more than that. We're working them because their expertise is in building premium brands, driving measurable growth, improving your digital experience. So many things there, whether you're in professional services, tech, consumer goods, personal brands. R&A's playbook is designed to make you the premier choice in your market. And all I can do to endorse somebody is tell you, we're using them for everything because we believe in them. They're our guys. So R&A Marketing thanks them for presenting Coach's Office. This week, we're going to dive into these red zone touchdowns. So you had 3 of them, Jay, in this game that are the equivalent of 4-point plays. And 3 of them go for touchdowns. And one, I guess, is kind of right on the edge of the red zone, but it's even worse because it happened right before halftime. The play goes off with 13 seconds left. We're going to get into these 3 and discuss what the heck is going on down there in these high leverage moments for Al Golden's defense. Let's go to the first one. Okay. The first one is going to be A Bo Nix rushing touchdown. And what you'll notice is somehow a quarterback who's known for his running ability in the red zone is unaccounted for. You tell me how that happens, Jay.
Well, when we talked about this last night, I initially thought it was on Jordan Battle, but the more I look at it or watch the play, I I I think Jordan might have been the one responsible. He's up there in the top on the C. Dax Hill down on the bottom, it's man coverage, and either goes with the wrong guy or he forgets and passes off his guy thinking it's zone, and that just kinda throws everything into chaos. I don't know. This will be a good question to ask Al about when we get him this week. Who was the spy there? What went wrong? But Dax triggered it all. That kind of led to everything else. The ripple effect. Even if he sticks with his guy, maybe that still happens. But it is odd that with Bo Nix's penchant for doing that. I mean, he was really good at it last year. To not have anybody on it, it's what it was 3rd and 5 at the 6-yard line. You have to know that's a possibility, and it was just way too I mean, a quarterback draw untouched for a touchdown, that's not gonna sit well for any defense.
I was watching, that the Ravens-Lions game a couple of weeks ago. The Lions did an incredible job of spying Lamar. I mean, they would have a linebacker ready at all times. Every time he went to pull off his escape, they had somebody waiting on him to go. And it just, in a spot like that, a 3rd down, to not have somebody with direct eyes, uh, on the quarterback is just, I mean, that's basics of a game plan against Bo Nix that you should never see. Speaking of things you should never see, let's talk about the touchdown to Cortland Sutton right before halftime. This was reminiscent of 2024 Bengals. Just massive gaps that you just don't that and not understanding the situation, um, that cause problems. Here we go. So this is dropping back. That's going to come down to the bottom of your screen here. Bo Nix is dropping back. Dax Hill is on Cortland Sutton, and kind of, Cortland Sutton's a good receiver, kind of gets him a little bit inside. Notice the drop from Logan Wilson, where
Yep.
Logan Wilson's at about the 12. Okay. Everybody else in this coverage is much farther back. Jordan Battle standing back here at like 2-3 yards deep in the end zone, can't get over fast enough, can't see it fast enough, and the ball comes in right into that gap in between all 3 of them. And, when you go back to the beginning of this play and you look where they're all lined up at the very beginning, first of all, it's a little risky of a formation. I think in that situation, you probably would wanna have more of a protecting the end zone, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't It's 3rd
There
and 2.
there's no
Are
timeouts
you worried
left.
about the first down? Like,
They have
I
no
feel like,
timeouts. They have to throw it to the end zone.
yeah, there's no exactly. So where's your goal line? If there's anything, that picket fence that you're seeing along the 15 should be along the 5.
Yeah.
Let them throw underneath you and go tackle it. There's no timeouts. Play the sideline so they can't go out of bounds on you or something. But instead, you're here, and Logan checks that guy and just doesn't get deep enough, and Battle doesn't see it fast enough until you have this huge gap in the middle, and Bo Nix says, "Thank you very much. Can't believe that's open," and credit him a nice throw, but you just can't be that open. That's game situation. In call, in execution, that's game situation knowledge. Almost more than it is, a play.
What this looked like to me was overcorrection on the Knicks run, where it almost looks like that's what Logan's doing. He's staring in the backfield the entire time. Maybe he's thinking, okay, he's going to take off and run again, and I got to get him down. But you have to know there's no way he had to. I mean, Sean Payton had to told Bo Nix that you got to throw it. You can't run. We can't get anything short of the goal line. If even if Logan wants to spy him a little bit, if he gets a little bit deeper in that drop, I think maybe he can affect that pass. He can get the hand up and get a deflection on it. Great throw by Bo Nix. I mean, you don't want to take anything away there, but just the plan, the approach was not good by the Bengals there. It again, it's situational awareness. that ball was going to the end zone, no doubt about it. And you said it, they should have been further back where they could have rallied and tackled if anything came down in front of them. Um, this will be another one, an interesting one to talk to Al about, and what was the thought process there and what went wrong.
Jordan Battle has to be able
Yeah.
to get down there faster. Like you have to see that because when you watch the moment that Bo Nix is like, okay, I'm throwing this right here.
Mhm.
Jordan's like, he's still going almost he can't even get downhill on it fast. It takes that long for him to transition it over there, and he ends up back on the C in the end zone.
Yeah.
There's just a lot. It's everything. It's not one thing. It's everything. It's the situation, it's the call, it's the execution, it's the linebacker, it's the safety. It takes a lot for a FUBAR like that to happen. All right, let's get one more, and this one is,
Talk about a
you know,
FUBAR.
yeah, I mean, you end up here. This is the last touchdown. You know, you see the Broncos see the Bengals going to bring pressure, which they had rarely done. They're one of the least blitzing teams you'll see. And they bring Harvey in from the outside, and nobody goes with him. All alone. How does that happen? How is there nobody out there to check him? And maybe that's just a product of, hey, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to go for this. Look at the bottom of your screen. What's going on? Arms out extended. What's going on out here? I don't understand what's happening. Trying to communicate, like, this doesn't seem right to me. We don't have enough everybody's pointing and signaling and still moving as RJ Harvey is going out there all by himself. Now, and Miles doesn't get home fast enough.
Yeah.
He has a free hitter there, and whatever. I mean, it's hard to when Knicks. I mean, just catch, throw. I mean, you can only get there so fast when a guy is left totally alone and unchecked on the entire quarter of the field.
Yeah, and before this clip starts, Harvey starts in the backfield, goes out wide, then comes back in, and Demetrius Knight never looked at him at any point. He was dialed in on blitzing, and he comes inside and he's still staring at Nix. He never really looked and realized, oh, we've got a back now. Someone's got to account for him. I'm pretty sure this one's going to be on Demetrius, and it's a rookie mistake, and the rookies they'll cost you a few games, and not that this cost them the game. This game was already out of hand at this point. But that I do, you see, because you talked about the arms out. Geno Stone kind of had his arms out. It almost looked like he was trying to alert everybody, hey, there's two receivers over here, and there's only me. And then Harvey goes back in, and it's like, okay, now there's only one receiver over here, but they don't account for the back out of the backfield. And that's the other play. I said, name me any quarterback in the league that can make that play. On that one, you name me any quarterback in the league that doesn't make that play. That was just way too easy.
There's no question about it. Speaking of way too easy, if your business is ready to stop tinkering and start building a serious professional brand that gets results, you need to talk to the team at R&A Marketing. They're the real deal. We trust them with our own brand. It's the best endorsement I can give. So visit them at ramarketing.com. That's ramarketing.com. Schedule a consultation and tell them the Growler podcast sent you. All right, Jay, this has been fun. I certainly appreciate you pinch hitting as Charlie's baseballing right now. Got you in the tape a little bit.
Yeah,
You're in the tape. You're in the tape.
This could be a month-long ordeal when the Reds win the World Series.
It could. We'll get you back in the rewatch game. You used to write the rewatch story back in the day. So this is not foreign territory, but just first time in this particular show. So good to have you back here. And we'll be back with PD and Jay and Mo Egger joining us on Thursday this week. We wanted to get reaction from the locker room from Jake Browning and Zach Taylor. And obviously, what the leash is with Jake Browning is going to be an interesting topic going forward, Jay.
Yeah. I mean, is it the leash going to Brett Rippon? Is the leash making a trade
elsewhere
somewhere? And you've got a month before the trade deadline hits. Is that something they would consider?
I mean, I think that we'll see, but I don't know how the leash can be long at this point.
Right.
You can't keep going out there, and they got to go against Detroit and trotting out Jake Browning and not scoring touchdowns all game and not moving the ball and having 8 consecutive punts and truly one of the most disgusting possession charts you'll ever see. You can't just keep doing that. You lose your team.
Mhm.
If any other position, if there were problems like that, and the quarterback, right or wrong, is responsible for so much of that stuff, it's gonna be on his shoulders. You've got to figure something out and try something new. So I'm curious to hear their response in terms of where they're at with Jake going forward. We'll talk about all of that and more on PD&J coming your way Thursday. So keep an eye out for that. All right. Thanks everybody for watching and hanging out with us here on the Rewatch, and we'll talk to you on Thursday. Have a good one.